Happy Saturday, my friend. This is going to be a fun day, a fun topic. Did you guess it? On our calendar, our Jumpin' June daily calendar of free motion quilting, actually quilt your own quilt challenges. Okay, today is, do I really need to? I bet you think I'm going to say practice. No, that's not it today. I'm Pat Sloan, if I didn't say that yet. Sorry. So, do I really need to? This is about planning. Do you really need to plan what you're going to quilt before you get started? Do you really need to do a sketch and figure it out before you start? Well, my answer to that is sometimes yes, sometimes no. It's not necessary. Often when I'm doing a panel like I'm doing with the butterflies here, I really am not creating a major plan. I knew I wanted to do some background, I knew I wanted to outline things, but I am not going to go, do any kind of rough sketch about that. I just sort of, I've been doing this free motion quilting about 30 years, so I do kind of have a feel for my own personal set of shapes and knowing how I do them. But you could certainly, figure that out by doing a little sketch if you wanted to. But I don't for that kind of a thing. Now, what I might want to sketch out is a plan like doing the rainbow, because I think this is the one I'm going to base this next. My rainbow border came in. Yay! Yay! I'm so excited. So I am going to sew that on, and tomorrow on Sunday I will show you this with the border on. But I am going to go ahead and base this. Now I might do some stuff on here and then switch back over to a panel. I'm switching around. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of different things during the month. So this one I might want a little plan. Same with, if you see the quilt here on my book at the bottom that I'm working on there, this one I had a bit of a plan because every one of the blocks on that quilt is quilted a bit differently. So it's and this book has my book has patterns. It's not just the tutorial part. There's patterns in here, cute things you can make. This is one of my favorites for Valentine. And they're all quilted, and I tell you how I quilted them. So here is a page that tells you how I approached quilting them. So that is something else that's going on in the book. But when I did Cherry Pie, when I did this one, all those blocks are quilted differently so that I could practice, what was going on. So maybe I repeated parts of it, but that is something that if you're going to do that kind of a plan, it's nice to know kind of a little bit of where you're going before you get into it. That way you're sort of not floundering. So let's take a look. Let's take a look. So if I was doing the rainbow, which are half square triangles, then I found some other fat markers. I have a dark side to the block and then a light side, but I'm not showing that on here right now. I'm just showing the two, just showing the whole square. So what I might do is, like, on one side of it, I might decide maybe I am going to do something like this to make it very linear. So maybe I would have, something like that. And then that would be on the back side here. It'd be on this one, right? And it would be on this one. So there would be one portion of these triangles. Now the other one, I might decide to do something different. Maybe I'll decide to do sort of a fleur-de-lis like this. So from the base of each one, I might be coming up and just doing like 3 plumes like that on every single one. Or maybe because it's a rainbow, I could do fleur-de-lis in one color, and then maybe on another color I might approach it and do another shape, but maybe I'll keep the light. The light is where you're going. Okay, let's have this here. The light fabric is where your quilting is going to show up more. These fabrics, your quilting will show up a lot less. So if I were going to do this, then I might do the lines across in green so that actually it just sort of presses the green down. And anywhere where there's green, I would use green threads and press it down. Then I might come in here and do the fleur-de-lis in the white for the entire quilt. So that would give it a little bit different definition, whereas so I'd be changing threads. So if I'm on green, I will have green thread. If I'm on blue, blue thread, yellow, yellow thread. Now, one question we had in the group is about thread color and the top and bottom. So when I'm quilting, I generally like to have the same thread in the top and in the bottom, but I don't feel like it has to be. I mean, if it's easy and you have enough of the thread, just make it the same thread color, the same spool. But let's say you're doing like 4 different greens and you want to change so that the top exactly matches the green of the fabric each time. Well, if you look at the shading, you might be able to get away with like a middle shade for the bobbin. So let me show you how I would think about that. Also, that means you need to get some sort of a bobbin holder, because you're probably going to do, when you start free motion quilting and changing thread colors, you will be winding a lot of bobbins. So, and changing them and not using all of the bobbin because you will be done. You don't need that color anymore. So this is a good thing to have. I love this one because it holds a ton. Okay. So if I were going to use, these are sort of the aqua bin here, aqua bluish. So if I were using maybe okay, so if I were going to, that's like not that much more blue. So there's a different shade of blue. And I could probably get away with this middle one. That one's not going to keep rolling. Here, I've got a little bigger spool. It won't roll so much. You can at least see it better. Okay, so I might try to see if this blue, it'll definitely work with this, but it might be too light. If I don't have good tension, it could pop up on that one. So I might have to change. But if I have, like, let's say a variegated, I was working with these 3, well then I could put this in the bobbin and probably sew with both of these just fine. So that's what you want to look at. How can you, and it depends a lot on your tension and whether you've got a good tension going on. So there is thinking about the bobbin and the top. So you want to get that organized. Okay, let's take a look at we're on Saturday, which means my goal is to hopefully by the end of today have my butterfly done. I have gotten, let's see, all the background. So basically at this point, all the background is done. I'll hold it up a second. So all the background is done. And now I will go into the butterflies. I'll put it out here. Let's just let's take a look at him up close. And I'll tell you how I'm going to work on it. Boy, it gets messy over here. I don't have a lot of space. Okay. So here's the background, and it's all finished up, looped around, so that it's all filled in. And like on the ferns here, whoops, I gotta come down this way. On the ferns, I outlined everything. So there's an outline around them, just going around, around, around. Same with here, with this fern, they're outlined, outlined, outlined. The butterflies are outlined, and this is the plan now. The plan is to, whoops, I want to bang the microphone. Take the butterfly, and I'm going to come in with the blue, the La Aqua, and make just sort of, this kind of a deal on there. Just sort of sketching into the blue. And then when I'll come down to this darker one, I'll do the same thing. So I'm just sketching. Now I'm going to take and do, here, gotta get out here. Take and do something on this blue and on the peach, maybe just lines. And then on the bigger sort of rainbow part at the top here, the same. I will do, I don't know, I might do some sort of a swirl. Maybe I'll attempt a ribbon a la Debbie Brown. My friend Debbie does amazing ribbons, so I'm not sure I can manage that. But I will, at least I will echo in. Echo, echo, echo. Then all I have to do is a little something in this border, which is probably going to be like this. I'm just going to do like a little wave. And then out on this border, I'll probably just do sort of a bigger wave. I don't want to do a cross. You know, I don't want to have another visual going across my stripe. So I will probably come up and down on the stripe. And then this is done. And I'm going to bind in this color. I did order more because I only had a fat quarter, so I couldn't do any more of it. Didn't have enough. So that is my plan. And so by Sunday, I should have this one done. That means Sunday is what day? It is the 7th. So actually, I'm hoping to have it done tonight, Saturday. That would be 6 days of quilting on the panel, just a little bit every day. Not a ton, but just a little bit every day, and it's done. That leaves me now with 1, 2, 3, like, you know, a little over 3 weeks of the month that we have. So I will move on. I'm going to base the rainbows, and I will do some work on the rainbow, and then I will switch over to, I actually have an older project that I'm going to do some walking foot quilting on. It's the old mom, it's the mama's, grandma's kitchen that I didn't finish the one last section of it. Never finished it. So that is going to get finished. And then I will probably take a look at one of the other panels that I got. So it's Saturday. It is time for another at least 10 minutes of quilting on your projects. Remember to come over. We have Ask Debbie. Debbie Brown, my friend, is helping out with answering questions, and you can ask me over at my Facebook group. If you ask too many places, I'm not going to see the questions. There's like, you know, like 250,000 of you and just one of me. So the more you can consolidate, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan is my group over there. I will see it first. But I'm trying to scan other places, but I'm definitely going to miss them because there's just more of you than there is me. Okay, have a fabulous day. I love you, and thank you for being here. Mwah, mwah.